My name is Samantha Lara, and I work at the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization as the Senior Community Planner. The MPO is really responsible for regional planning, so we are looking at the transportation system on the island of Oahu. In 2022, we had a lot of conversations with planners and different agency officials here on the island of Oahu. So our executive director, Mark Garrity, he decided that we should pursue workforce development, and he looked into utilizing federal funds for workforce development, which allowed us to create the Hawaii Project Management Training Program. So in October 2023, we embarked on a journey to the Pacific Northwest with 30 participants and various staff and consultant support to provide an experience. We wanted to take all of the things that we learned and bring the participants somewhere where they can actually see these different kinds of projects on the ground. We met with officials from Portland and Seattle and went over some projects that they wanted to show us that they used federal funding for. That was a really big component of it, the federal funding part, because we've identified that we have the federal funding, but we don't have the project managers to actually do these projects. So we want to make sure that we're capitalizing on this money as best as we can for the island of Oahu. And in doing this, we wanted to see how federal dollars were being used by, our colleagues in different places. Portland and Seattle are very well known for having really great transportation networks, especially their rail line. So as we all know, Skyline is new here for us on Oahu. And for us to see how rail has really worked for this place and all of the things that go into it to help with mode shifts so we can reach those goals for carbon net negative and addressing greenhouse gas emissions issues. We saw bike lockers, we saw dedicated bike lanes, we saw all-door boarding buses, and we walked around these places and really thought about stormwater infrastructure. We thought about curbs and curb extensions and all of these little things that really made a difference for the Pacific Northwest. And we wanted to figure out how we can do that here. Why don't we have that here? What do we need to do to get there? So all of this was really important because it wasn't just informational, it was very inspirational, and it allowed us to kind of spark that fire within all of us as transportation planners or transportation related employees of the state of Hawaii, and more specifically Oahu. That way we could come back with this kind of charge. We wanted to do this. We want to see this happen. How do we do that? And over the course of 10 months, we've really built a relationship with each other, and we were able to see, this person has access to this and this person has access to this. They are an expert in this field or whatever. So making those connections was really helpful. So when we saw at the workshop, we saw the officials working together, we realized just how interconnected everything is, and it allowed us to have that example of seeing who at the table has what kind of abilities and making sure that all of those are being used in order to get a project completed. Being able to go on these workshops and interact with the environment around you, take the bus, see how it feels, take the train, see how that feels, and then being really inspired changes you. It really changes the dynamic you have with your own city, with your own work, with your colleagues. So being able to kind of step into that power and being able to say, this is a role that I can utilize to get to where I think would be better for our island, I think is the most important thing.